Hi guys, this is Ashley with Couch Talk Life Coaching. And if you're familiar with me and my videos, I've been talking to you for about 5 years now about self-empowerment and being better in your circumstance so that you can know how to fly when you come out of your circumstance and stop it from happening again, or at least know how to deal with it when things like that happen again. Well, I want to give you guys a true story. Since I moved here to Virginia back in May of this year, 2013, I felt like there has been trial after trial after trial, things that I've gone through. And as soon as I think things are getting better, things are letting up, here it comes again, full force. And I ask, why? But then I go back and I retract those why statements because I know there is purpose in my journey. There is purpose in my circumstance. There is purpose in the things that I've done and messed up in so that I can be able to learn from them and be able to show somebody else along. I call it a Bible study call, but it's called The Gathering. I was on a call last week and we were talking about embarrassing moments and things that we go through so that we can prosper. But not everybody processes those things well, Just like I asked the question of why these things are happening to me, why they keep coming up, why it happens all the time. A lot of people continue to ask those why questions instead of going back and understanding that, hey, I had to go through this to get to the other side. I had to go through this so it would be worth it. I had to go through this so that I could show somebody else. I had to go through this so that I would be able to understand what's going on when I get to the other side. There's so many reasons why we go through the things that we go through, the circumstances, the situations that seem so negative and get us down so much and so often and stressed out. And a lot of it is just plain mind-boggling, and we need to start not leaning to our own understanding. That's my favorite scripture in the Bible, because most things that happen in my life, I couldn't fathom why it happened. But I always learn from it and I pay it forward. I'm always able, when somebody come ask me a question about a hardship they're going through, I'm always able to say, hey, you know what? It's going to get easier. It's going to get better. This is how you handle it. Because guess what? I've been through it or something very similar. And it's so rewarding when you can do that, because people go through so many things and they're alone so many times, and you may have even been alone when you went through your mess. But guess what? You will be able to be there, if you haven't already, for somebody else who's going through a similar situation. So there's always a process. There's always a purpose for the process. So don't discount the things that you go through, even as hard as it may be, as stressful as it may be, as exhausting as it may be. You're going to be able to make it through, because there's no greater purpose than to understand what that is. That in that moment where you can understand what the purpose was for you to be able to go through that mess is rewarding and it's heartwarming, because you will eventually learn and understand that it was worth it. I had to go through that so that I can get right here in this moment. Truth is hard, guys. Pain is even harder. But I promise you, when you go through that pain, you will reach your promise every single time. And I'm not discounting the things that you go through, because the things that I went through, I felt like they were hard as hell. I felt like it was just not the end, but I felt like, oh my God, when is it gonna end? I can't keep feeling like this. I can't keep going through this. I can't keep getting these headaches, these back spasms. I can't keep, crying every night. I can't keep just feeling emotionally drained and exhausted all the time. It hurts. But you have to be able to allow yourself to hurt and to feel the pain and not numb it by doing whatever it is that you use to numb it. Whether it's alcohol, whether it's weed, whether it's anything else, whether it's sex. Whatever you do to numb the pain, to try to feel a little bit better, is not worth it, because you have to be able to grieve through the things that you've gone through the hardships, through the heartache, through the pain, through the suffering. You have to feel every bit of that so that you can go through your stage of grief. Because if you don't grieve it, it's going to be very hard to overcome those feelings. Very hard. Very hard to deal with them. Very hard to understand them. But the maturation of going through those things is what helps you heal. When you were little, or even as an adult, and you hurt yourself, you scraped your knee, you broke a bone, you pulled a muscle, you had to go through that pain before you could heal. You had to go through the discomfort so that you could heal. Even though you might have said, Lord, why me? Universe, why me? You had to feel it. You had to go through it so that it can repair itself. Our bodies are so resilient, but our mind and our hearts are sometimes so weak and not as resilient. But we have to make it that way. We have to be able to bounce back up on our feet, figuratively, and keep going. Because life don't stop because of the pain. You know that. You still get bills, don't you? Whether you hurting, whether you got hurt, they still come. That's just a small piece of reality. But the things that the person that you are don't have to stop. It don't have to end. And you could ask for help from family, from friends, from a counselor, from a life coach like me, there's different avenues of help out there. Everybody that's your family ain't appropriate to help you. Everybody that's your friend ain't appropriate to help you, because either they're going through it themselves, and they worried about their own situations, or they just don't understand what you're going through enough to give you what you expect of them. Some people just don't know what to do, what to say, how to say it. But some people just don't have your back regardless, so you have to be careful. Be careful. But you can make it through it. Just remember, through all the pain, the healing and the promise is on the other side of that. But you have to allow yourself to grieve and get through it. All I've been through, all the whys, all the sleepless nights, the crying, all of that, is so that I can tell you this. It gets better, and it's okay. This is Ashley with Couch Talk Life Coaching. If you want to reach out to me, send me a message, AshleyD@CouchTalkLife.com. Or if you just want to leave a comment, please do. I promise you that I'm here for you. Until next time, you guys, take care.